We're just gonna do a little bit because there's a lot of police around here. All right, let's hit a little bit first. Borla Attaks with cooked headers and stage 3 comp cams, oh god, it just sounds beautiful. I mean, you guys might think that's too loud. It chops so hard. It's so beautiful. I love it. I love it. That's why you buy Borla Attaks. If you have cams and long tubes and you want it to just chop, you want to actually hear the cams, get Borla Attaks. Okay, but seriously, there are a ton of reasons why I have Borla Attaks and not Borla Stingers. It's a very polarizing exhaust system. A lot of people hate Borla Attaks. They're too loud. They're way too raspy. They don't sound clean like Borla Stingers. They just sound dirty. I wanted to explain to you guys why I myself have Borla Attaks and have had them for 10 plus years and not Borla Stingers. You guys are actually about to hear how raspy they are because this is uphill right here. So a lot of people don't like that rasp, that 2,000 to 3,000 RPM, the rasp. A lot of people don't like it. I gotta be honest, I don't love it, but I also, I do love it whenever I'm just trying to like make loud noises. It's fun. It's like sometimes I get annoyed and I'm like, you're too raspy when I'm going uphill, but other times I'm like, it just sounds so good. It's just, it's so aggressive. I guess there's a little bit of a child left in. So let me just start off by saying we bought this car in late 2011, and back then, Borla Attaks for the 0304 Cobra did not exist yet. There were only Borla Stingers. And back then in 2011, literally every Cobra guy had Borla Stingers. So I was thinking about getting the Borla Stingers. Wow, that is a fast Ford Focus. You get them, Mr. Ford Focus. You go, you are in a hurry. You are a race car driver. So back then in 2011, everybody had Borla Stingers. That was the most popular exhaust, and for good reason. And it sounded great. It still sounds great. It's probably the cleanest, most beautiful exhaust system you can get for an 0304 Cobra. Most people would not disagree with that. It sounds the best. It is the loudest exhaust you can get without it being super raspy. If you go to Borla Attaks, they get pretty raspy, I'm not gonna lie. You gotta be ready for that rasp. You gotta be ready for that. It's not too bad at certain RPMs, but between 2,000 and 3,000, if you're not on solid ground, it's pretty raspy. So we bought this car bone stock. It had a stock exhaust. A couple months after buying it, I was gonna go ahead and get Borla Stingers, and I went to AmericanMuscle.com and I saw that there were Borla Attaks, and I was like, what is this? What is Borla Attaks? Is it different than Borla Stingers? So at this time, there were like no videos on the internet of 03 Cobras with Borla Attaks. And I was like, hey, let me be the first. Let me be the first Cobra guy with Borla Attaks. Like on solid ground, downhill, it sounds just like Borla Stingers. Like, it only really gets raspy when you have to give the car like a lot of acceleration. When you're on an uphill terrain or you're just accelerating hard, it's gonna get very raspy. But if you're on solid ground or going downhill, it's literally Borla Stingers that get really loud when you want them to. Like here, I'm gonna baby it. I think that sounds beautiful. That sounds almost exactly like Borla Stingers. I've ridden in Cobras with Borla Stingers. They pretty much sound exactly like that. They just don't get louder than that. Mine, if I want to drive conservatively, I can basically have Borla Stinger. Like, here's Borla Stinger. There's Borla Stinger. There's Borla Atak. So like, I like having that ability. It's sometimes I'm just like pissed off and angry, and I want the loud noise because it makes me feel a little better about when I'm having a bad day. So I like the Borla Ataks. Did you hear that? I echoed off of that truck. My sound waves bounced off of the truck. So for me, like when I want it to, it's deep and it resonates and it just sounds great. When I want to be loud and raspy, do that too. It's for me the best of both worlds. Feel a little downshift there. So back when we made the review video with David Patterson, it was a very polarizing exhaust. People watched the video and they said, David, it's too loud. Those Borla Ataks, they're too raspy, they're too loud. And then some of you guys were like, oh my God, that sounds amazing. And that's why I think the car became famous in the first place, because they had Borla Ataks and it was really loud, but it was also something that anyone could afford to build. Times you're always hearing Borla Ataks just screaming and being really loud, but you never get to hear them just like accelerating normally. So let's go through the RPMs just normal. I love it. Like that was me just going through. It just sounds great. Like you don't have to be in Watt all the time, but oh my God, Watt sounds so good. I'm gonna do a pull just to show you guys what it sounds like. It's probably gonna spin, so you know, it's gonna spin. Sorry, it's really cold outside. It's like 30 degrees out here. We're just gonna do a little bit because there's a lot of police around here. All right, just hit a little bit first. Spinny spin. There was just absolutely no hooking going on there. A lot of spinning in first, a lot of spinning in second, a lot of spinning in third. You get the point though, that it just sounds insane. Like, And then I can just shift into fourth and be like, didn't do anything. Oh, look at that. Look at that. That's an undercover police officer. See, that's why I'm saying, like, I don't like to do a lot of crazy pulls, because down here where I live, they're out to get everybody. There's another one. There's a second one. So guys, there are like a couple different reasons I pulled into this parking lot. Number one, after I did that pull, I passed like 3 unmarked cops. One of them had someone pulled. The other 2 were just lurking. One of them probably saw me do my pull. So I'm gonna go ahead and conclude the video here while I'm not getting a ticket yet, and you know, it was a good run. So the reasons that I have these Borla Ataks and not Borla Stingers, number one, they just sound bonkers during wide open throttle. They're insane. I've had them 10 years. I've thought about getting rid of them for like Max or Borla Stingers, but then every time I think about doing that, I have a bad day and I want some of the rasp. I want some of the rasp, and I just want it, and it's there, and I feel like if I got rid of it, that I would miss it. Secondly, these still sound quite nice under low throttle. They're not that raspy until you give the car like quite a bit of throttle or touch boost. And then like lastly, these with cams are just, they're delicious with cams. If you guys enjoyed the video, give me a like, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more Cobra content. I got merchandise down below, just go down. I'll see you guys next video. Much love.